Very diverse school that Catherine Burke
What I did,
at.
one of the best experiences of my life, I used to be a presenter on Songs of Praise on BBC, and to actually understand and know other people's faith just gives you a better understanding of everything.
Totally agree with that, yeah.
With that. But anyway, you don't like religion in this country, do you? This always amazes me. It's not like Mother Ireland where everybody's going around blessing themselves and whatever, but no, you don't like, they don't like it in England. Secular.
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe they don't like certain religions, I don't know what it is, but
they don't
keep
like
those
religion,
thoughts coming in.
And also the biggest sin you can ever make is to be Christian in this country.
Well, that's it.
That seems to be it. Run the sting.
So we're going to keep the controversial theme going. Donald Trump, he's a divisive character. He won the New Hampshire Republican presidential primary yesterday, beating the former United Nations ambassador, Nikki Haley.
It's his second victory after winning Iowa last week, cementing his position as front runner. And here's what he had to say last night.
You know, we won New Hampshire 3 times now, three. We win it every time. We win the primary, we win the generals, we've won it, and it's a very, very special place to me. It's very important.
Right, well, we are now joined by the 2020 Republican presidential candidate Joe Walsh, as well as former advisor to the Bank of England and political commentator Roger Gewolb. And you're both, I believe, from Chicago. Welcome to the programme. Thanks very much for your time. Let's start with you, Joe. We haven't heard your views very recently in all of this. What do you make of the way things are going for Trump?
It's over. Good to be with you. It's over. It was always over. It was over a week ago. It was over 2 months ago. It was over 8 months ago. Look, this is Trump's party. I'm no fan of Trump. I think he is an existential threat to our democracy. But Republican voters love him. This is his party. He was always going to be the nominee. It's going to be Trump versus Biden.
So, Roger.
So when you say it's over, just to be clear, you don't mean it's over for Trump. You mean it's just beginning. It's nailed on. It's a cert. He's a cert.
Yeah, thank you. No. Yes, the nomination fight is over. That was always over. Yes, it now moves on. Trump will be the Republican nominee. I think he always was going to be the Republican nominee because Republican voters absolutely love him.
What I think is absolutely fascinating about this, Roger, is that we are hearing a number of Republican voices saying that the selection of Donald Trump is, as Joe says, an existential threat to democracy.
Well, I think that, first of all, Joe is speaking American political shorthand. I think I should say for our audience here, I mean, he's quite right. But when he says it's over, I believe what he means is that the process of winning primaries and being nominated is over. So Trump will be the Republican candidate. I think that saying that Donald Trump is an existential threat, especially for someone like Joe, who until he became independent, and I believe it was 2020, agreed with so many Trump-like principles, strikes me as a bit strange, and I'm not quite sure where he is now. But he certainly embraced a lot of things that I personally would agree with, some of them. And you know, when he ran for president, when he served in Congress, and then left not that long later, he was representing one view. He attacked Barack Obama grievously and was criticized for it very heavily. I'm not a fan of President Obama, but now I just don't understand, Joe, how you can embrace Joe Biden when you've been such a critic of Obamacare. You were a strident, ardent Tea Party member.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't get it.
Still am, Roger. Still am. Good to be with you this morning, Roger. Still am. I'm an ardent conservative Tea Partier who voted for Trump in 2016.
What's a Tea Partier? Sorry, for us English people, what do you mean by a Tea Partier?
Can I explain?
Shorthand, a far-right conservative Republican, a very conservative Republican. and I still am. And I voted against Trump in 2020. I actually voted for Biden, a Democrat, for the first time. I represent a big part of what Donald Trump's problem is, because a lot of us conservatives have left the Republican Party and want nothing to do with this ugly and divisiveness that Trump has brought on. Let's remember, I'll make it simple, Roger. Donald Trump's the only president in American history who lost an election and refused to participate in the peaceful transfer of power. He refused to accept an election loss. And then, Roger, he did something even worse. He tried to overthrow that election. That kind of bothered me, and that bothered a lot of conservatives. And this is going to be a problem for Trump when he tries to win in November.
Do you think that's right, Roger? I mean, I think there's something like half of the people who wanted Nikki Haley in New Hampshire yesterday will not be able to vote for Donald Trump on the basis of the twice impeached, the insurrection, whether or not you accept his involvement in that, and the huge number of indictments he's facing.
Let me say this as an Illinois lawyer and former adjunct professor of law at the University of Illinois. These charges against Trump are criminal charges. As you know, Joe, they have to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. I think there's enough evidence out there that there was something not right with the elections. You and I both know, you and I have both grown up with there almost always being 20 or 40,000 votes from the cemetery in our hometown. You know, there's enough evidence floating around. I think it would be very hard for a jury to convict him. I certainly don't think he's been found guilty of the insurrection. So, I mean, you've never been a man not to make extreme statements. And I as I say, a few of your extreme statements I completely agree with. But I think you're wrong here. I think that Trump, I don't think that, I know that Trump is the first non-incumbent Republican to gain a primary as he has last night. So whatever you talk about the history, he's certainly on a roll now, and you guys are in the minority.
There we go.
Among Republicans, yes, no doubt about that. And I'll acknowledge that, Roger. Look, this is Donald Trump's party. The Republican Party is his. The nomination is his. He's running against Joe Biden, and it's going to be a real close general election because Trump is a very divisive dude. You have to admit that, Roger. Give me that, huh?
Just a final question to you, because you are in the States, Joe. I'm reading in the British press this morning that Murdoch's Fox News won't be supporting Trump in the same way this time around. I mean, it was described as being aggressive support in the previous election. Why do you think that might be, and how pivotal could that be to his success or lack thereof?
Well, because Trump cost him a lot of money, because as Donald Trump lied about the election in 2020, Fox News echoed those lies, and to the tune of what, almost $1 billion. So it cost Fox a lot of money. But I have no doubt Fox News is going to step right back up and be in Trump's corner this election against Biden, because that's what they do. So they'll support Trump.
Okay.
Joe Walsh, appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. And Roger, lovely seeing you again.
Yeah,
see you again
you.
soon. Thank you very much indeed. Storm Jocelyn.